Afternoon, dear Theosophists, and thank you, Erica, for your introduction. My lecture is called Man, Land of the Gods, Methodological Analysis of the Secret Doctrine. In the Secret Doctrine, the stanzas of Dzyan are presented in a certain sequence, according to the planes of being. The plane of the single. The second is the plane of gods. The third is the plane of spirit. The fourth is the plane of archetypes. The fifth is the plane of mind and creativity. The sixth is material and formative planes. And the seventh is the physical plane. The stanzas of Dzyan must be perceived, as H.P. Blavatsky said, intuitively. Only in this way can you grasp in your meditative reflection the systemic order, meaning the order of notions of non-existence, the world unmanifested and manifested, etc. Enumerated below, we have non-existence as true being or sat, the world unmanifested and manifested, no form and form, etc. So let's see how, in the order of Dzyan's stanzas presentation, there is food for reflection to be presented. In stanza 1, it includes 9 slokas, 9 being the symbol of spirit and the description of spirit. Stanza 2 includes 6 slokas, 6 being the symbol of matter, the description of matter. In stanza 3, it includes 12 slokas, 12 being the prime causes become the causes. In stanza 4, we have 6 slokas, which are causes materialized. In stanza 5, which includes 6 slokas, we have consequences materialized. In stanza 6 includes 7 slokas, the formation of the first elemental septenary elements. And in stanza 7, which includes 7 slokas, the formation of the second septenary, earth. The first 3 stanzas describe the processes taking place on the plane of formless spirit in the state of pralaya, at the dawn of the awakening of the universal mind. The law of necessity, impetus, according to the eternal breath of eternal life, with a single breathing in, creates a process that groups the great chaos into a new combination of potential possibilities of the evolutionary process for the next Mahamvantara period to begin. Following the above, we notice the culmination, the preservation, and transmission of the 3 aspects of primordial fire as the future germ at the root of the spirit, of the thought basis for each plane of being. In the 3rd sloka of every stanza, this transmission of the spirit grain. The root of the spirit, or the three happen, namely the continuation of the process of manifestation of the threefold aspects of the spirit, at first as the rootless root on the plane of the formless spirit. The next plane is the one of mind and creativity, on which the one spirit, threefold in its aspects, manifested by the seven rays consciousnesses, the forces of the cosmic mind, and the hierarchy of Daihan Chohans, is differentiated by the creative power. The seven rays are the seven consciousnesses merged into one, i.e., the one consciousness in the potentiality of manifestation is the seven. The next process of the manifestation of the spirit by the power of the gods is the spiritualized hierarchy of Dhyani Buddhas on the material and formative planes, where substance becomes form, which monitors the spiritualization of human consciousness. The next process of creation of the planes of existence is synthesized on the plane of the manifested universe. Consciousness in the manifested universe, where the spirit assumes the substance of dense matter, breath of eternal life, monad, merges in its immersion with the shapes of the corresponding form, provided by small lives, so that matter could be a conductor of the thought process. The formula 3 fall into 4 manifests itself in all the fourth slokas of all 7 stanzas. And in the fourth stanza, there is a culmination on the plane of the archetypes. Noumenon of all forms of spirit. The one single consciousness where Parabrahm is in the veils of Mula Prakriti as the one single element, where eternal life called Zu becomes Forhat, the light. Zu becoming Forhat, this is a process on the plane of archetypes, when the divine thought as the plane of the evolution of the unified consciousness in its noumenality for the host and multitudes of consciousnesses in their limitless combinations and matches, is expressed by the creative potential of the forces of the divine nature of the spirit. The plane of the formless spirit, in the form of a potential triangle, falls into the plane of archetypes and is transformed into the holy quaternary. The symbol of this plane is a circle with a point. The point means the spirit, symbol of the triangle, and the area of the circle means the spiritual substance of the holy quaternary. Subsequent slokas unfold the tetractys with the symbol of the cross in the shape of a square. Thus, the symbol of the triangle inscribed in the square symbolizes the spirit vested with matter. The fifth slokas of all 7 stanzas are the culmination of noumenon. In the 5th stanza, on the plane of mind and creativity, the cosmic man is represented as symbolized by the 7-pointed star. Hierarchical beings of Daihan Chohans are represented as 7 rays. Each ray reflects the creative divine groups of consciousnesses as guides of ideas, according to the necessity of the law of cycles. The 6th slokas in all 7 stanzas and their culminations in the 6th stanza in the substantial and formation planes, which symbol is the 6-ray star, 2 intertwining triangles, a white triangle of spirit and a black triangle of matter. The central point of synthesis expressed by harmony, or the balance of the world by the spiritualized first principle. The hierarchy of Dhyani Buddhas is symbolized by a white triangle, and Taras are represented by the black one. While the synthesis of their beginnings is thought, spiritualized by wisdom as the manifestation of the light of Buddhi, who opened the heart with love. The 7th stanza and all 7th slokas culminate in the manifested universe, the plane of the physical atom. The symbol of the manifested universe is the pentagram, the 5-ray star, reflecting aspects of the human nature of the sentient mind. Consciousness is seduced by the illusory perception of material values. These are the material values of the forms, plane, or the physical plane or solid plane on this plane of forms. So we've come to the explanation of the concept of man, land of the gods, on our plane of existence. The plane of archetypes mirrors non-being into being. It is symbolized by the 7-ray star, the cosmos, the tetragrammaton, the symbol of nature, and the pentagram, the symbol of man. This process, 3 falling into 4, is a formula for the fusion of spirit with matter. And in this fusion, matter becomes capable of becoming a vehicle for the manifestation of thought by the thinker or spirit. The matter from which the builders, the shapers, so-called small lives of the 3 kingdoms of nature, the elementals of the spirits of the elements, created the forms conductors for the adoption of the monad. The monad radiated the Sutratma ray of the threads of eternal life and reflected Chit, the thinker or the ego, which is the immortal man. He is also the highest manas in man. Radiation of the highest manas reflected its nature in the created conductors, and the merging took place. The Antakarana bridge has the properties displaced by the highest mind in the nature of the lower manas, which is the personality or the mortal aspect of the passionate animal nature in man. This means that the lower manas, with its karmic nature in a man, is the land of the gods itself. From that moment on, man became the land of the gods, for manas is lower and astral. Animal, passionate feelings constitute the land for the gods in man. The nature of the mind manifests itself in the power of perception of being, according to conditions, impressions, pleasant, unpleasant, burning, cooling. That is what we call the senses of perception, by external organs of senses, ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin. All of our 5 senses are related to the external perception of the physical world. The subtle properties of the same dense world of forms the external senses perceive through smell, sight, hearing, taste, and touch. What we feel leads to our desire, which arises prompting the mind to generate thoughts for its satisfaction, and the person starts acting. As a result of the action of our desire and thought, we generate nidanas, being the causes of coupling with the effect. And these causes lead us to suffering, for we have tied ourselves to the object of our desires by the power of the thought of desire. To free oneself from attachments to the causes of suffering, it is necessary to strive to get rid of suffering. We suffer from the fact that we did not know, which means that we must strive to know the causes of suffering, as well as the causes of liberation. I suffered because I did not know. Well, if I did not know, then there is someone who knows, and the power of readiness to learn awakens. And when the student is ready, then the teacher is ready. From this moment on, the choice of one's path begins through the knowing oneself. That is, the knowledge of one's hidden nature and the liberation of its divine and spiritual forces. Then the responsibility increases, man begins to create, and the divine nature is revealed, and the gods rejoice at work on earth. Man is in the land of the gods. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Vladimir, for such a wonderful lecture, truly enlightening on the secret doctrine, first volume, Cosmogenesis.